fake leather couches.
Yeah, it's sunk in kind of quick, so I don't know. Get real far, real deep in the couch, like.
Yeah, well, that's like that's how it is in the dungeon. I mean, I'm surprised you even have couches.
They're actually booby traps in this couch.
Yeah,
but they're not for you.
It takes you down to the swamp. Yeah, for your business transactions.
I don't have any business transactions.
Not yet. You're still young in the game. All right, jabronis, we're back. As you can see, we're on the road. We got special guest, the Creature, in town. When I say in town, I mean we're in your place. We're in the new dungeon.
In the new town.
Yeah. So thanks for hosting.
Happy to be back on. It's been like, what, 6 months since the Syracuse trip? And
yeah.
Actually, probably a little bit more.
No, it's been more than that.
Yeah.
That was been like a year.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then before that was
the Thanksgiving episode.
How you doing?
Yeah.
And then the Virginia Beach Trenches of Warfare.
Yeah. So
live from war.
I tell you, I barely made it out alive.
I know.
You're a real American hero.
Thank you for your service.
No, thank you.
Yeah, but appreciate you let me set up shop here in the new dungeon. And I mean, you got it pretty well set up already. You got couches. You got
That's
coffee
the benchmark.
table.
You got a place to sit.
You got a mattress.
Yeah. Only one though.
Yeah, I mean, I thought.
Don't ask.
I thought we were gonna be, sitting on swamp mud heaps or something. Whatever you guys do in Dungeon Land.
Yeah, I thought about getting barrel chairs, which are just barrels that you sit on.
Which are just barrels.
But yeah, I set up pretty good. I'm glad to be back on the show. These are always a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm very excited to do this, and we've had a good week. I've been here for like almost a full week now.
A full week, including the road trip.
Including a road trip. Yeah, we started out with the road trip from the real swamp in Florida, and came over here to H-Town, Houston, Texas. So that was pretty cool. I wish I took more pictures and videos, but also I'm not mad about it either. Yeah. Don't want any of the evidence of the New Orleans shenanigans and what have you.
Sure. Yeah.
I can't stop thinking about New Orleans girl.
Yeah, I don't know if you should bring. Yeah, no, go ahead, bring it up. Let's see what the fans think. You get some feedback. I had some words about that situation, but there's always what the people think.
So there was this gal. All right, well, let's set the stage here a little bit. We were in New Orleans. We took a stop. We went to Bourbon Street, as you do in New Orleans. First, we had.
I was gonna say.
First, if we're gonna rewind a little bit back.
Yeah.
Boop boop.
Beep beep beep.
So, we're in New Orleans. The first thing we did was the sort of like the Nic Cage celebrity tour, if you will, treasure hunt, if you will.
That's right. Yeah.
And I will. And we saw the mansion that he used to own, the haunted mansion, and then we trekked it over to the cemetery where he bought his tomb, his pyramid tomb. And I'll pop the pictures up on my Instagrams to show you guys, and maybe I'll do a future treasure hunt after you guys forget all about this, and we can kind of go from there. But that was exciting. After we saw that, I was pretty much good to go for the trip.
And one thing I want to bring up about that part of the story is the Nic Cage tomb has a wall 360 degrees around the entire cemetery.
Yeah, it's a cement wall.
Yeah, you can't get in unless you're, have an appointment or something to see a loved one. So you obviously wanted to take a picture of the Nic Cage tomb. So it took us a while to find where the tomb was located. You kind of just pulled up over the wall.
I did like a Ziggy nose over the wall, kind of how you doing.
So after 10 minutes of doing this, you finally find where Nic Cage's tomb was.
Right.
And you obviously wanted to take a picture of the Great One's tomb.
Yes, and that's when you made
right. That's what I wanted to get to.
Ultimate
I wanted to bring
sacrifice.
That up because in order for you to take the picture, you had to have hands free. You couldn't do the chin up and snap a picture at the same time.
Right.
So I had to give you the old school boost.
Yeah,
touching the bottoms of your shoe, which, for a feet guy, obviously that's terrorizing for you, but bottoms of the shoes
for a germ guy
is disgusting. But, and look into the camera when you say this, did I hesitate?
No. I will look right in the camera. Zero hesitation. In fact, I almost said, we're just not going to do it.
And I said, no, you're doing it.
Yeah, I couldn't let you do it initially.
Right.
But you were...
And then I cut my hands off because it was fucking disgusting.
Right, and then you had to
especially
hands.
walking through the streets of New Orleans.
We walked through Bourbon Street,
which is nothing but urine and I don't even. I just.
don't know
I
why-
hope
yeah,
that was
I hope
urine.
it's just urine. Yeah, it was disgusting to say
Yeah.
the least. But we got the picture. We hoisted.
Mm-hmm.
That was good for me. But then we went to Bourbon Street for the the night festivities.
Right.
And it was an off weekend. There was nothing special going on. I guess Memorial Day weekend when we
Yeah,
went.
I mean, it was we were there Saturday night, so there was still. I mean, I've been there twice now. That was the second time, and I told you when we were there that was like 300% more than the first time I went. I couldn't believe how many people were there. So if it gets crazier than that, I mean, it's ridiculous.
It does. I've been there for Halloween and for Mardi Gras, and this damn wire here. Mardi Gras, it was so crowded that it's just a wave of people, and you just move with the wave. There's like two currents, and I guess they're polite about it. The right side goes one way, and obviously the left side goes the other way on the current. So when you get out of a bar, you just have to decide. Like I'm obviously gonna go this way.
Yeah,
and
it's
you
like
just,
a riptide of drunk, horny people.
yes, and you just jump in, and it's through booze and titties and skin and muffin tops and what have yous, and you're just moving all along. And then when you see something like a place you want to stop at again, you just kind of like
Swim parallel to the.
swim, you hop out. you revert back to your training.
That's
and
right.
you get out of there. And then again, good luck trying to cross the street.
Oh,
You
yeah.
have to do like you have to follow one current, a quick Frogger hop to the next current. Like you got to go past the bar you want to go to, hop currents, and slide down to the bar you want to go to get in there.
Yeah, and in the middle of all that, there's a bunch of cheese dicks actually trying to drive through there. I couldn't believe that.
Yeah,
What were
I
you
don't know
thinking?
why they. I guess because like during Mardi Gras they close that all off.
Yeah.
But I guess for this they're just like
Driving
good
through
luck.
hordes of people. And,
Yeah, I don't know what they were thinking. I don't know how more people don't get hit by cars.
Yeah.
But we didn't see any of that, so that was kind of disappointing.
That's about
But,
the only thing we didn't see.
yeah, we saw pretty much everything else.
Yeah.
I saw boobies, peepees, wee-wees, everything.
The boobs to pee-pee ratio, not what you want.
No, not that weekend. We were expecting a little more boob, I guess you could say. But not that there's anything wrong with
There's
peepees,
definitely nothing wrong with that.
But
absolutely nothing.
so we stop in this bar, and we stopped there because it's not crowded. Every other bar was just loaded with people. It was loud. There was live music going on. It was cool and all, but
Yeah.
we wanted a place to kind of post up, if you will.
Yeah, right.
Get some drinks, hydrate.
That was the plan. We were going to get our drinks there, then go do our thing, and come back and get some drinks there, rather than fight
Right.
the horde of people at some other bar. That was like the place to drink up, do your thing, come back, drink up again.
Right. And so this place was perfect for that because it was sort of right in the middle of everything. And then it wasn't that crowded. So we pull in. We're at the bar getting a drink. And to the left of me, there's a bachelorette party, which was, I mean, that was a dime a dozen that night. That night. They were all over the place. But they had their whole squad shirts. And then the bride had a different color shirt because she's special and it's her, whatever. And there's this gal, and she's in the corner, and I don't want to over describe her, so I'm just gonna call her a brunette gal.
I'll describe her. I mean, she was a gorgeous, just a very attractive young woman.
Yes. So she's given the eyes in our direction, and I'm not talking like regular scanning a bar.
Yeah, she didn't make eye contact. She
Right.
was.
She was locking in, and she was smiling. And at first I was like, this is like incidental contact, if you will. She was doing a scan or smiling at her friends, and her eyeballs kind of travel in our direction. Then she did it again, and I was like, well, there must be a hunky guy to the next to us. So I turn to the right, and there's nobody. It's just us two. So then I was just like, she's probably just staring at ghosts. Like,
Yeah.
she's drunk.
This place is pretty haunted.
It's haunted, Mardi Gras, all the voodoo shit, and I was like, all right, whatever, ghost. And then she kept doing it. And then she moved closer, hanging out with her friends, but she moved around the corner of the bar
She was
closer
making
to
moves,
us.
yeah.
And she kept doing it. And we kept locking eyes, and we both kept like actively smiling at each other.
Just to be clear for the audience here, when you say us, you mean you, not me. When you say she was locking eyes with us, she wasn't locking eyes like with the two of us. She was looking at you.
I guess so.
No, not you guess so. That's what happened.
All right. I mean, again, we were right next to each other, so I'm trying to give the benefit of the doubt here. It could have very well been you.
No.
You're a pretty strapping fellow.
No, it was you.
All right. Well, anyway, she was doing that, actively smiling back and forth, and then I made a decision of this is we'll be outside walking around. I'll see her and I'll talk to her then. Like,
that's a terrible strategy.
It couldn't have been worse.
Yeah.
And there was no excuse. I wasn't drunk.
No, I mean we had just gotten there. Yeah.
Right. I wasn't drunk at all that night. Mm-hmm. We had a few.
Right.
We threw a few down, but
yeah, we had to drive the next day another 6 hours, so it was very much.
Yeah, it was a mellow night
yeah.
for Marty, for Bourbon Street anyway.
Right.
And I mean, we must have walked around the rest of the night for a couple hours, back and forth to different bars, special interest establishments, maybe. Mm-hmm. Didn't see her again.
Yeah.
Didn't see her again, and she was gorgeous.
Oh yeah, she was very, very.
She was tight like a tiger,
yes.
And I can't stop thinking about that regretful non-move.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about it right now.
Yeah, we're gonna ruin the episode. Just cut the camera.
Yeah,
we're done here.
Yeah. I can't stop thinking about
what.
All I had to do was say hi.
I know that the LPDS audience is probably gonna give you shit, and probably
as they should.
Yeah, but you know what?
I deserve it.
I say she's the pre-girl. Okay, you have this regret. You're feeling it, so that the next time you're at a bar and you see somebody equally as striking, maybe even more so, you're going to remember this, and you're going to say, I'm not going to let that happen again. And that's going to be the girl.
You think that's going to be the girl?
That's the girl. This girl is... This
the girl before the girl?
Yeah, this had to happen this way, because otherwise, you might do the same thing for the girl. This isn't the girl. Trust me. She's not.
I hope not.
She's not.
I did everything I could to try to make her the girl.
Yeah, I mean, you did fuck up.
After the fact.
Yeah.
After that absolute blunder.
Tell them what you did... Maybe you shouldn't tell them what you did for the next 6 hours on the road trip.
Oh, yeah, I don't mind telling you. I mean, we did an extensive dating app hunt, if you will, a recon mission search for this
You
girl.
were praying that she was on one of these dating apps,
right?
And you were just banging left swipe because you didn't care unless it was her.
It wasn't about that. Yeah, it was.
You were just
we
trying
were
to find
adjusting location settings appropriately.
Yeah, you were still in like travel mode or whatever, so you're honed in on New Orleans, and you were just. Yeah, it doesn't matter if Margot Robbie's on there. You're swiping left until you can find this girl.
Right, and the problem was we had no intel to go off of.
Right,
and
nothing.
And in the military, when you're taking out the trash,
it's tough to do it that way.
You do not conduct an operation on no intel.
Have intel.
You got to have intel. We were going off of what we remember she looked like.
She wore a pink shirt that said "squat up." That's it. That's all we got.
And she was good looking.
Yeah.
And that was it. So I feverishly swiping. Like I might as well have hooked up a hot dog to a drill and just had the swipage on that thing, because I was looking all over, and it was almost the whole drive.
Yeah,
from New Orleans
it was
to
6 hours.
Texas.
Like I don't even think we talked.
No.
I think I just drove. And every time I looked over, you're just bang, 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 bang.
And I'm motherfucking myself for the...
I think you punched my dashboard a couple times.
I did, yeah. But I didn't want to punch too hard. I wanted to get the airbag.
Anyways.
Hey, it got us where we needed to go. Yeah. But needless to say, I didn't.
You know what? Don't read the comments of this video, because people are gonna be talking shit. Fuck them. You know what I mean? You did right. You'll be fine.
So
I'm telling you.
Does that mean you're gonna be talking shit because you're the only one who comments?
Well,
don't answer that. You know what? Don't answer that. But yeah, I need the shit talk. I need the feedback to get better so that I don't make the same mistake again.
Yeah, you won't, because you remember this feeling. You know how it is.
Can't get it out of my head.
I know, but you're gonna. I'm telling you. Listen, you're gonna be sitting in a bar a week from now, and somebody's gonna walk in, and you're not even gonna remember old brunette squat up, dancing, doing all sorts of.
I mean,
now I'm all flustered.
I know. An elephant never forgets, and I have.
You have the trunk to prove it.
Yes. So we'll see what happens. But anyway, where the hell are we here? Why don't we just step into the cage and get this thing going?
Do it.
And go from there. All right.
Okay, let's run.
Reading it from the computer here. All right. Today's Into the Cage segment is proudly sponsored by Bum Boosters Consulting Firm. There's nothing more depressing as a bum than pedaling in front of the local 7-Eleven only to go back to your tent with barely enough change to buy a Jack Daniels nip to keep you warm. Well, with Bum Boosters, there's hope for all you bums out there. You see, Bum Boosters provides consulting tips to improve your pedaling game, make you more approachable, and guarantee an increase in your income within days. With tips like sleeping in a pine tree instead of a garbage heap so you smell better, and follow me, fellas. And playing drums on a bucket with a stick to show talent, Bum Busters offers it all. So to lock in your first consultation today, hold up a sign that says, "Help me, Bum Busters," and a representative will find you and only take a 2.9% commission on your weekly earnings.
Ooh, that might have been the most difficult read you've ever had.
Oh, yeah, and I'm not going. That's it. That's the read.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
that's the read.
I think the alliteration of Bum Busters is what was killing me. That's nice of them, though. They don't require a call in or anything because they don't have phones.
Well, that they have to accommodate, and they're not offering. It's not so much a fee as much as it is like a bit of a commission. It's like commission, and 2.9% on $10.
Yeah, you won't even notice. Yeah, I mean, sleeping in a pine tree is ingenuity at its finest. I mean, you can't get any better than that.
I mean, you could be in a house, but maybe I guess the theory is the busters will help you get there if you're increasing your income, streams.
The housing market's kind of high right now. It's not a good time to be buying anyway.
No, but you could at least buy, maybe a nicer tent from Dick's or Academy or something like that.
One that has a zipper that you can.
Yeah, you can lock and keep safe, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
So
all your valuables.
Right, so thanks to Bum Busters. All right, the Cage fact today. Again, I'm on the computer here. So he's doing interviews. We all know he's been on the circuit, the junkets, if you will, for his most recent movie that came out about a month or so ago, Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent.
I saw it. Unbelievable,
right?
Yeah, I texted you as soon as I saw it. Unbiased, top 10 movie of all time. Nic Cage's best movie, without a doubt.
I think it is too. Yeah. It's quickly rising to my favorite Cage movie, and it's tough for me to make a decision on that.
No,
it
is a work of art, and I'm a movie guy.
Right.
I love movies,
and you're not beholden to Nic
Cage.
No.
Like I said, I'll say it's top 10, but man, it's his best movie for sure.
Yeah, definitely. So, in one of the interviews, they asked him, "What's a movie that he can watch over and over again and never be tired of it, like a rewatchable. Anytime it's on the TV, you're watching it. And we all have those movies. There's a bunch of them. But for Cage in particular, he said Apocalypse Now.
Ooh.
He picked a couple other ones. It's like they're also good that he can rewatch, but Apocalypse Now was his go-to, and that's a great movie.
It's a great movie, yeah.
I'm trying to remember when that came out, but
oof.
Good flick.
Yeah, Martin Sheen was still a young fella in that movie.
Yeah, he was, and Marlon Brando was not.
Crazy already.
Yes.
Yeah.
Fat, and they had to change the script and the movie around to adjust for his fatness and the fact that he was just a disheveled mess.
Yeah.
And I guess that's what you do with The Godfather.
Yeah, you gotta accommodate.
You gotta
him.
accommodate.
Yeah, that's where the island of Dr. Monroe. I forget. I'm butchering that. I'm sure Nikki Sticks could probably correct me on that.
I'll probably get mad now.
Yeah, that is a famous movie where Marlon Brando went off the deep end, but
I have to watch that one.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, it's good for him. So, but that's it. That's a Cage fact. So, just flip it right into the junction.
Yeah. Actually, before we do that, I wanted to bring up. I was listening to a podcast. It's not one I listen to regularly. It's the Rotten Tomatoes podcast. But they were just specifically talking about Nic Cage, so I had to listen. And they were talking about, does he get a fair shake? Because everybody outside of the LPDS world kind of has this, opinion on him. We're not even going to talk about it because we know it's stupid. But so they go back and they watch his movies and they kind of talk about, okay, this one got a 33%. Was that fair? Things like that. I'm not going to regurgitate the whole episode, but I wanted to give one soundbite that I thought you probably find interesting. One of the critics said that Nic Cage can do Leonardo DiCaprio anytime he wants, but Leonardo DiCaprio could never do Nic Cage. And I'm like, you got it.
That's...
Yeah.
Who is that guy? Was it me?
It could have been you.
I mean, that's an incredible one. That is.
Yeah, they were just talking about like his skill set and his range and his ability to do serious movies, his ability to do action flicks, his ability to do crazy flicks like Vampire's Kiss and stuff like that. And it's just like he's got it all.
Yeah, well, there's a reason why too. The movie he starred in the movie, the most recent movie, Massive Talent, as himself, because even the writers were like, "Who else is?
No one else
it?
could play that role."
Yeah, you can't have name an actor who would even be able to compete and try to do that.
Yeah.
I can't think of one. Travolta,
no,
only because he tried to do it before.
Yeah,
and we had a whole conversation on a previous episode of the Face Off review. Which is phenomenal episode.
That's great.
Travolta tried to, but he was still Travolta,
right?
Trying to be an unactable guy. I don't know how to say that, but yeah.
I like to think that was Travolta's most fun he's ever shot in a movie. Is just all right, be Nic Cage as a villain.
Yeah.
Okay.
He looked like he had a pretty good time in Grease.
Yeah.
Too. So
yeah,
I don't
Grease
know.
is pretty good too.
Yeah.
I've always had a crush on what's her name again?
Sandy?
That's it.
What's her real name? Olivia Newton-John.
That's it.
Nailed
you got it.
Done.
I've always had a crush on her.
Yeah, she was fine.
Yeah,
especially
and she
at the
sing.
end.
That
there.
gives you a couple points already.
Yeah, and then at the end when she got the wild hair and she was pumping heaters and
yep. Yeah, that was good.
And she was making like wimpy simp Travolta.
Yeah,
sweat through that cardigan that he was wearing.
Electrifying.
Yeah, but I don't really have a topic.
Yeah, we decided that we're gonna just roll the cameras and talk about whatever. I did want to talk about one thing.
Yeah.
And we don't have to spend a lot of time on it. We can talk about whatever. But one thing I did want to talk about, I know among millions of fans across the world, every Saturday night it's 11:59 and 55 seconds. Everybody's asking, where's LPDS? But nobody's really asking, how's LPDS? So I think we should talk about a little about LPDS for a little bit.
Well, besides how I feel about the whole New Orleans situation.
Yeah, that's not how Libretti is feeling. I'm talking about like with the podcast and stuff, like how you feel about it and how it's going.
Well, I appreciate the thought. I feel great about it, and this is like, I'm not saying I feel great about it because it's this is going to the moon or whatever. I feel great about it because I'm doing something fun.
Right, you did what you set out to do.
Exactly, and I'm still get to do that. It's not like I checked the box and now I can end it. Like I started doing this for a couple of reasons: to be able to better think on my feet and present information in a coherent way, maybe entertaining way, funny way, what have you. To be able to get feedback from people and try to incorporate that in my daily life as well as not just for the podcast, but for my real life too. And then learn about like the tech side of things, which I'm still learning, and I don't have it all figured out, not nearly as much, but it's something I look forward to doing every week.
Right. So
I got everything I want out of it and more. Like I don't come home from work and think, oh crap, now I got to think of a topic and record and this and that. It's, oh crap, I have to go to work instead of just working on something like this all day long.
Well, I mean, you're what is this, 106, 107?
Oh, this is going to be like 111.
Holy crap. Yeah, so 111, that's 111 weeks, you're going strong. Obviously, if this was on a whim or whatever, you tossed it aside by now.
Yeah.
It took me 2 weeks to toss bullpen GM, so.
Well, let's be fair here. And we discussed this previously. You got...
Yeah, but I didn't.
The man came after you pretty hardcore.
Yeah. But I still, I didn't have the commitment that you have to LPDS, so I definitely see how you're doing, and I respect it. I will say one thing. If I ever had a criticism LPDS, it's this. So
you're a piece of
just everything.
Yeah.
No, so whenever you do an Instagram post, you always hashtag Barstool.
Yeah.
Whatever. I'm not as familiar with it as you are. You've mentioned many times throughout the podcast Portnoy, the guy who runs Barstool. Which, by the way, every time you say Portnoy, I think of Jack Black's character.
Jack Black, yeah.
Doing the farts.
What was that movie he made, The Fatheads or something like that?
Yeah, something like that. So, one of the best things about running a podcast or a YouTube channel or anything like that is there's no velvet rope. There's no gatekeeper. Literally any fucking asshole, probably in the last 30 seconds there's been at least a dozen of them that have created YouTube channels, and like you don't need to get an in. You don't need if I was a real friend, I would say something right now that would burn all your bridges with Barstool, giving you no option of ever working with them because you don't fucking need them. LPDS is great. It's all about content and hustling, and I think you got both. So fuck those other guys. Like I said, there's no gatekeeper here. Anybody can do this. You just got to have the content.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that too. And you're right. I absolutely don't need them. I just like talking. Like I love that company. Mm-hmm. I mean, people are probably gonna dog on that because they're a controversial company.
Yeah.
But I like that atmosphere. If I had to continue working, like obviously I have to continue working. But if I had to pick a job, because I'm clearly not making money on this on my own.
Well, that's not true.
I'm not making real, taxable income.
You made real money.
Yeah, I made some money because of the Anchor FM sponsor reads on the Apple if you're listening on iTunes.
Do you get to choose? Are you like married to Anchor, or are you allowed to mix it up before the show starts?
As far as what?
The ad that you have.
No, that's so the way it works is, and this is like not a secret of the trade or anything that Anchor's trying to hold. Uh-huh. Because they host my podcast feed, the RSS feed they call it, mm-hmm. which again I don't even remember what the acronym means. They host it for free, and then they have this option on their site that says like, hey, as you get listeners and viewership, and we start using our algorithm to figure out what you're talking about, we'll start suggesting sponsors that you can read with, and they offer their own little like very small time sponsor contracts.
Okay.
So it's not like a Barstool or Rogan where they're coming up with big deals of like,
Cheerios.
Yeah,
it's better than dog shit.
Right. It will pay you $100,000 to do to sponsor whatever. They offer some stuff, and then you can mix them in. Okay. You can pick all of them, none of them if you want, whatever. And then they have things like for every 1,000 views or listens, you'll get $15.
Okay.
Because my viewership is what it is, Anchor is the only one that's offering sponsorship opportunities on their site. Mm-hmm. And I'm not specifically like reaching out to anybody separately on my own, be like, hey, you want to sponsor the show? Because again, that's not why I'm doing it.
No,
it would be
sure.
cool and all, but I'm going to focus my effort on other things like more
creating content.
Yeah, better.
You got to stick
better
with that.
content, better topics, trying to get better for the people.
Right.
So that's the only one. Yeah. It's on their site. They said, hey, you want to do a sponsor read? It's got to be a minute long. It's got to say these things in it, and then you can pop it up every episode. And it's the same. I haven't updated the read in a while.
Yeah, I honestly thought you were going to read it. I thought you were just read it outright every episode.
No, it's pre-recorded.
You pre-recorded? Wow.
Yeah, and that's it. It's only on the iTunes and Spotify, I think, as well, if you listen on Spotify. So I think, again, I started this, 2+ years ago?
Yeah, I mean, is it 2020, was it?
Yeah, and it's been on every episode on iTunes and on Spotify, and I think I have $47.
That's real money.
So it is real money, and I haven't claimed it yet, so I just keep it in my savings.
Yeah, you got to reinvest in the company,
Right. That's what I'm doing.
You got to keep the money in the business.
Yeah. But again, if I wanted to, I can exhaustively look for like any company whatsoever that would be willing to do a cheap sponsor, even if it's not for money, just for like give me a hat and I'll read a sponsor ad for lids or something like that.
Yeah.
But like the reasons why I'm doing the show,
no, you're doing it right.
There's a threshold right now that I don't feel I need to cross or want to cross. That's going to turn it into work. And I enjoy what I'm doing.
Right.
And it's not for, the billions of viewers. I would how awesome would that be if I got that and we got to, reap the benefits of that or whatever and the, the other stuff that come with it. But
yeah. Well, we talked about it the last time, or actually the first time, my origin story, when we talked about, my website that I tried to do, which I'm hardly an expert, but I do realize now that you have to focus on content creation before you can even think about monetizing it, because who's going to buy a piece of shit?
Right.
So you got to work on the content, which I think I enjoy every episode. I'm not just saying that, but and it's getting better and better every week.
Thanks.
And this week is probably the best episode.
It could be a top 5 at least.
At
least a top 5.
Yeah, I think this is the massive weight of podcasts right now. What we're on
Of Unbearable podcast.
Yeah. Massive weight of Unbearable podcast.
Yeah, but that's why I like doing this so much, because excuse me, because I don't have to worry about any of the sort of the back end like bullshit that comes with any job, really.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And that's sort of like the appeal of a place like a Barstool or a Spotify. And again, I'm not talking like I'm gonna be the next big thing and I should be with any of these companies whatsoever. But if I, like, hypothetically, if that were the case, they have a team of people that handle a lot of that stuff. I wouldn't have to go out necessarily looking for my own sponsors or anything like that. I would also potentially have someone help producing it and doing the editing and things like that. But again, there's a give and a take. I like going through the editing process and learning so that I can make better videos in the future, whether it be through like an episode or just like a random video, like a montage or anything that we do.
Yeah.
And one of the things I do want to get better at is putting more of that stuff out there. Whether people like it or not, I enjoy doing it. And I think enough people enjoy watching that stuff,
right?
And tuning into that, like the little clips and crap. So part of the thing I am looking for in my future, like next career after the military in the next few months, is something that gives me more time.
Right.
So that I can dedicate to all the things I want to do: spend time with family, friends, travel, and this. And it sounds stupid because it's like to the outside people, like my parents per se. Like when I tell them, like, I want more time to be able to do stuff like woodworking, traveling, the podcast, and they're like, what do you need more time for the stupid podcast for? It doesn't do anything for you. And it's like, yeah, I mean, technically it doesn't do anything like monetarily, but it does a lot more for my peace of mind and my happiness and things I enjoy. So why would you not want to focus your, more of your time towards things you enjoy?
Sure.
And that's sort of part of like the big 3 pillars to begin with,
right?
To be kind of a happier person,
right?
Like, again, I say it 1 billion times to people. I don't know how many times I've said it on here too. Like, you're never gonna be on your deathbed wishing you spent more time at the office, working for the man. Like, you're never gonna sit there. And if you are, then you kind of lived a sad life, in my opinion.
Yeah,
maybe
I mean,
you
look
were
at
happy.
me. I have no hobbies. I'm wildly unhappy.
There you go. You have to wear Velcro shoes now, so you don't get any ideas with the shoestrings.
That's right.
So, I mean, that's why I wish you got back into the game.
Yeah.
Because I think you would enjoy it. You're good at it. I love the blogs.
Yeah.
You know that. And I was actually going back through. I was looking through my old Twitter twits, whatever they're called. For I don't know why I was considering switching my Twitter from a personal to an LPDS Twitter, even though I never used the damn thing. I only use it to like look at Embry Riddle baseball updates. That Mosier posts. That the I don't know what his job is, stat guy, whatever his job is.
Stat guy's right. Yeah.
That sounds too low for what he's doing. I know he's doing more. No.
Mosier's big time.
He is big
also
time.
Sweetest dude ever.
Yeah, he really is a nice guy.
Yeah.
But so that's what I go on there to check out those updates, and that's about it. I haven't posted on Twitter in a long time, but I was looking through to see like, oh, do I have to delete all these? Are they going to make sense if I switch it over? And when you were doing the blog, that's all I was tweeting about back in like 2011, 2012 time frame. That's all I was tweeting for updates. Like, you got to read this shit. It's awesome. It was obviously baseball focused, so that's up my wheelhouse.
Sure.
But it was not that boring like baseball updates that you can just get
where you can get an ESPN. The whole point was like to take controversial opinions and stuff like that. Like, let me explain why.
Air them out.
Yeah. Rather than say like, oh, Mike Trout's going to be, the MVP. Let's think outside the box here and think of, some other things that people don't get from anywhere else. Yeah.
Right, and it was good, and it was a fun read, and I wanted more of it. And we talk about it now that there are guys doing this, like they have podcasts now, they're on Instagram, they're working for networks because they started by themselves with a blog or a podcast or whatever, that if you didn't get banned and then if you didn't go to air traffic control, like, you were the first. I mean, I didn't see those guys, and I don't want to mention any names because I do like. I still listen to
the
all
guy
those.
That you're talking about is very, very talented.
He's great.
When I look back on it, I don't know that I had the content that he has now. He's really freaking good.
So here's the thing with that. That's kind of like, it kind of goes into. Have you ever heard of that book, Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell?
No.
It's a pretty decent book. It's a little bit anecdotal, but he's got a lot of good information on the theory behind the 10,000 hours of if you do something for 10,000 hours, you're going to become the expert at it.
Yeah, the proficient.
Yeah, one of the examples is the Beatles. One of the reasons they think that they were just so exponentially above everybody else in that era is because when they were nobodies, they were taking trips to Germany, and there was this one bar that was like an all-night bar, brothel, whatever it was. It was some weird thing, and they just played for 8 to 10 hours straight a night, all through the night. So they figured out how to do set lists better. They figured out their chemistry a lot better. So they got to the point where they were it was second nature. They would wake up and just be awesome together,
right? Whether
they liked each other or not, because they just played more than anybody else ever even was close to back then. So if you look at guys now that are doing successful sports-related podcasts, Yankees, baseball, soccer, whatever it is,
to grind it out.
They didn't just start last year.
Right.
So if you think about when you started,
I did not give it the time that it needed.
Well, even back then, you started in 2011, 2012. Let's just say you did it, you kept doing it until now.
Right.
That's 10 years.
Right. And back then, I mean, podcasting wasn't really a big thing.
It wasn't a thing. I think at the time, it was.
I feel it was like Serial, was like the podcast everybody listened to.
Not in 2012, I don't think.
I
2010
don't know. Yeah, maybe
frame.
not. Maybe I'm getting my times mixed up.
I think still, if I remember, the first Serial podcast came out maybe 2016.
Oh, wow.
But Adam Carolla and one other guy had a actual podcast back then, and then it kind of went from there because there wasn't really a robust platform for it at the time.
And there definitely wasn't a whole lot of baseball.
Definitely
now
not.
Everybody has one.
That's what I know. Several other of our friends say the same thing that we're following along with the blog. Was you were doing it before everybody else was doing it. Then maybe they were doing their own thing. We just didn't see it because the media wasn't, the vehicles to get that stuff out there weren't as robust. But yeah, you were doing it before, and then he got banned.
Yeah, and one thing led to another, and here I am.
Yeah,
that's my New England girl, or I'm sorry, New Orleans girl.
New Orleans girl. That's your big regret. But I still think you should get back into it. And I've
thought about it.
We belabored it the last time we discussed this.
Yeah.
But even if you don't put anything out, or you just send it to your friends for us to listen to, or whatever, just to try it and see, maybe it's too much work. Maybe it's actual work, and you don't enjoy doing it, or maybe it's the escape you need after work each day.
Keep me from tying those shoelaces.
Right. Instead of sitting here, reading "Don't Kill Myself" books.
They're for a friend.
Right.
I looked into them though.
Yeah. You can, you come home and you're already looking stats. We're sitting here on hours at a time when we're not helping set up the apartment and getting our steps in and what have you.
Right.
And what are you doing? You're looking up stats. You're looking up Trey's deals so that you could talk to your old man about it. You're doing some occasional swipage, as you should.
Not lately. It's been more than occasional. I had to put my phone away just so I didn't get tempted in the middle of the episode.
Yeah. Well, I know you do have an addictive personality, but
yes, I do.
But part of that is is the baseball and the sports and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can bring that sort of different angle to it, why not? I hate when people are like, "Oh, there's a million podcasts out there, or
but
a
you gotta be
million
better than
blogs."
them. Yeah.
Like, just you're just wasting your time. You're just gonna be like everybody else, and it's like maybe,
or maybe I'm better than them.
yeah, or maybe not. Mm-hmm. And there's only one way to find out.
Yeah.
So I'm always gonna push you.
This is not just for me, but also LPDS. Sort of side anecdote is, and I didn't know this. Do you know who Doja Cat is? The rapper or whatever.
Yes. She's
Okay. Yeah.
Choice.
So, and I only glanced over this in reading. I don't do a whole lot of research in Doja Cat.
I thought you were going to say you don't do a whole lot of reading. I was like, come on, man.
Yeah, no, I actually very well read. So Doja Cat got her start. She did this very gimmicky song called Moo, I think it was. Mm-hmm. She did a rap song from the point of view of a cow.
And how was it?
I mean, it was... I believe one of the lyrics were, I don't remember all of them, but I do remember one of the lines was, moo bitch, get out my hay. That was one of the lines. But it was very gimmicky, and then she went viral, and then now she's Doja Cat, just slamming freaking records.
Yeah, and as she doesn't do, and it kind of goes back to sort of the 10,000 hours thing, but if she's not pumping out gimmicky little just Hail Marys, essentially.
Yeah, she was just trying to get her start.
Yeah. She didn't just wake up, do one video only, and now she's a super talent.
Right.
She had to she's put the work in.
Yeah.
Same with everybody else. I can't think of very many successful people in this sort of space that
I can think of one, and you know who it is, and the Wet Cat also knows who it is. We won't have to say his name in case he's an eventual sponsor, but you know who it is.
Is it your guy?
I wouldn't say he's my guy.
Your prior guy?
Yeah.
He would never be a sponsor.
He fell ass backwards in his success.
Yeah, I'm gonna mention it because they'll never sponsor this show. I'm doing it.
Don't do it.
It's the Dugout Mugs.
Oh, here we go.
The Dugout Mugs is a very successful product. It's the wood bat that they cut the hole into, and it's a mug that you can drink out of. Mm-hmm. I don't get it. I don't want to drink out of a wood bat.
It's a bat that
It's a novelty, mm-hmm. and it's very, very popular. Mm-hmm. And your friend started it. Well,
right, yeah.
It was your friend's and his other buddy's idea.
Yeah,
apparently.
They invented it when they were in school, and
and then he had he became friends with some actual business savvy individual mm-hmm. who propelled it to massive success.
Yeah.
It's in commercials on TV. Major league players are actually in the ads and stuff.
Yeah.
It's all over the place.
Uh-huh.
And he didn't really, the business savvy guy was the guy to take it to the top.
We need a guy.
We need a guy.
Yeah.
But on the other end, he's doing a different thing. Mm-hmm. He's trying to create a product, and my product is
the big three. We don't need to shit talk or anything like that. But I have one. It was a gift.
You did get that gift from a dear friend.
Yeah, dear friend.
A dear friend and a bridge burner himself.
Yeah, hopefully he is listening to the show.
I hope he is too. But yeah, so most people actually are working for it, mm-hmm. And that's kind of my thing. Is that's why I want to put more out there, because again, it's a pipe dream to think I'm ever going to make it, quote unquote, make it in this kind of world. Mm-hmm. But it still would be awesome. And there's only one way to do it. I'm not going to sit back and just be like, someone will discover me. No, I'm going to...
Well, you don't need to be discovered. Like I said, that's the whole point, is there's no one keeping you out.
Yeah.
I mean...
No, the what is the term? The threshold, the gateway to entry, or...
Yeah, there's nothing. Yeah. Anybody can do it.
Can do it. Anybody with a phone mm-hmm. and an internet connection.
Right.
Done.
Here we are.
And that's that.
And it's not even good internet connection. It's $20 a month.
It's promo internet.
Yeah.
And it's still going to eventually work, hopefully.
Yeah.
It might take a little while to upload, but we'll make it happen.
We'll make it happen.
Yeah, but that's about it. But I enjoy making videos and content and stuff. Sometimes it's time consuming, though. And it's not one of those things that's I need to take the weekend to do this video. It's I wish I didn't have to do other shit so I can do this on the weekend. Mm-hmm. So I didn't have to mow the lawn or pack or drive somewhere Like, I wish I could just focus my time on making these stupid, silly videos that are fun for me and for the people who, Bud the Bone Crusher was in one. We had an awesome time doing
I think
that.
they're fun.
It took all day to get the filming correct and this and that. I still mess up a bunch of crap. But he went home, and the first thing I did at that night was I scrapped all my plans for whatever I was supposed to do that night. Probably just hit the sticks, and I didn't do that. And I started editing and trying to make it look good and this and that. I didn't go to bed until like 1 or 2 in the morning, and it was a fun thing for me to do. So I want to do more of that. So hopefully, with my next step in my career life, I can find a job where I have more free time. Yeah, working for Uncle Sam, it's been great, but
it's time to go.
Yeah, the trash is still going to be taken out. They don't need me.
Yeah.
The
a lot
machine,
of sanitation workers out there.
Right. The machine moves on. The garbage trucks move on. So we'll see what happens. But this has been a cool week break for me, and it's been awesome to kind of explore the city with you and have a good time.
Yeah. So. No, I've only been here once, and it was only for like 36 hours. So it's been nice, kind of getting around town and checking everything out and having somebody there with me. Otherwise, I'm just the asshole sitting by the bar by himself. Yeah,
it is tough. And I've done this several times whenever I have to move. I'm solo. Yeah. So it's tough to – it's very easy to say like, oh, I'll just go out to try these new places. There's always so much stuff to do. And then there comes time to do it, and you're like, I'm by myself. Like Steven Glansberg over here. Right. And I don't want to be the lone guy at the bar or any place.
Yeah, and before you know it, you're all seasons deep into Ozark or whatever, and you're just, I'm in a new dungeon. It happens to be located somewhere else.
Right, and your only friend is like the Grubhub guy.
That's right.
And it's
but I'm too cheap to pay for Grubhub. I'll just,
drive through, or walk across the street to the same place every time. So, hopefully it's been nice for you that we can both get out there.
Oh, that was great. I appreciate
set the intros.
I don't even remember. I feel like I was just talking about, how I'm going to drive to Houston. You're like, I'm there. I'm going to be there.
Yeah, I kind of invited myself.
No, I mean, there's always an open invitation.
Yeah, I mean, I like road trips, and I also know how shitty it is to move by yourself. And then on top of that, you don't have movers.
No, well, I don't have stuff.
You didn't have a lot of stuff, but you also, if you had the military pays for our move,
right? So
you'd probably be more inclined to save some stuff, right, if you knew you had some movers to move it for you with that you'd have to pay for. So I see I see why you did that. You kept it minimal.
Oh, I'm just a cheap fuck. That's really what it comes down to.
Yeah, but these are nice couches.
Yeah, but they were bargain. Memorials. Thank you for your service. Yeah. Also, thank you for the discount.
And I also feel like you kept the tags on them over there so that you can return them at any given time.
That's right.
Yeah, but like I said, I like the road trips. I figured it would be a chance to help you out for us to actually hang out again. Yeah. In person. We've been online on Xbox hitting the sticks a lot lately, which has been great. Yeah. But this has been awesome to be able to go out there. And again, we can get out there. It's a lot more comfortable to go out to a bar or a restaurant and get a lay of the land when you're not solo, and then you can meet people that way. We were talking about it yesterday, make friends with restaurant workers or bartenders.
I know.
And stuff
I tried
to
make friends with the bartender from last night.
Yeah, I kind of messed that one up.
No, you didn't really mess it up. Yeah.
So we'll set the stage a little bit.
Well, set the stage with. She was my New Orleans girl, and I wasn't gonna,
Yeah, so I guess you took the lessons learned, which is again exactly what we try to teach here at the LPDS is to try to learn and grow. You took a lesson by my mistake, and again, I say again all the time, I pride myself on being able to teach lessons through my mistakes. Yeah. I'm not trying to make mistakes.
But you make them.
But I make them. I'm a human being. I'm a jabroni. So if I can I can put these stories out there to help people so they know I know, not to trust people on Plenty of Fish named Chloe when I'm going on blind dates.
And now I know that as well.
And now you know not to meet, strange guys dressed as girls in parking lots.
I didn't know that before you told me, but now that you told me,
now
I know.
You do.
I know it.
Right. So if I could teach lessons through my mistakes, I'm going to do that. So you learn that. So I appreciated you doing that, like learning that and being like, there's a bartender here, and I'm not going to not talk to her. I'm not going to miss this opportunity to at least, make a conversation.
Yeah.
And I want to clarify, you were not trying to go hit on this person to get their number.
Right.
You were trying to do what we've been talking about for a long time, is just getting comfortable speaking to strangers, specifically of, women.
Yeah. Well, that's not,
hot women.
Yeah.
Not for the purpose of dating, but just because we're not, I can't speak for you totally, but like I'm not out there like a Casanova just slinging and being able to talk to anybody. I got to work up the energy and the chutzpah, if you will, to do it. So
I took the long route, so I'm not even a heavy drinker, but I think I ordered like 7, so just so I can go up to the bar each time and say something new.
Right, and my mindset, so you bought the first round as a good pal, and then you went up for another round yourself while I was slow playing mine, because I'm just a little guy. And then I wanted to get another drink, so my mind was like, oh, well, now it's time to repay my buddy for buying me a drink.
Right.
So I was like, hey, I'm going to go get another drink. Do you want anything? You're like, yeah, I guess I'll have another one. And in my head, I was like, oh, wow, you're really putting him down tonight, all right. And then I was like, okay, I'll go up and get it for you. And you're like, no, I can get it. I'll get it. And I was like, why? Like, why were you, I couldn't put 2 and 2 together.
Well, I didn't say it, so there
You didn't say it, no. But I should have just let you.
Yeah, let me buy my own goddamn drink.
Yeah, when you're that aggressive, like countering me for anything, usually there's a reason behind it. It's a good reason.
Yeah.
And it's because you wanted to go talk to this person. And again, you wanted to talk to them just because you wanted to get reps in talking to strangers and getting more comfortable talking to people that you normally wouldn't.
Right.
If I describe that incorrectly.
No. That's it. You got it.
Yeah. So you still did though.
I did. Yeah.
I'll let you tell the rest of the story if you want.
Well, I mean, I don't really think there's much of the story to tell. Yeah, what are we missing?
She had 6 kittens.
Yeah,
kids?
We thought she said 6 kids. And I was like, ooh. And you were like, ooh.
Yeah. So,
and then you found out it was kittens, and you're like, ooh.
And I was like, ooh. Yeah, so you started asking her about, she was mentioning earlier that she had to close the bar and then wake up at like 7 in the morning. Yeah, she's going to be
up to like 2 and then be up really early.
Yeah, and you asked her, like, hey, that kind of sucks. Why do you got to do that? And she said, well, I made the mistake of fostering 6 kittens. And Tony Rigatoni, I mean, he
was on it.
He took Libretti's soul right out of me and was like, I'll take the wheel, baby.
Yeah.
And he turned around and he's like, 6 kids, did you say? Hi, I'm Tony. And he slid it on his olive oil skin right in there to make a move. And then she's like, no, 6 kittens.
And then you couldn't have been
and then Tony was gone. He's like, I got to go somewhere else. I got to go find a local special.
I got to find someone else that has 6 kids.
Right, I got to go find a local mom to be a stepdad to. And then you swooped in for the normal adult conversation.
Yeah.
That was much more needed than anything that Tony could have talked about. But it was a good. It actually, it made me not laugh, but it made me smile a little bit because I don't know if we talked about this on the last time you were around, like on an episode. But there is this thing we call the manual.
Oh God!
That's been passed around, if you will, and it does exactly that. It gets like introverted, sort of pre-alphas, if you will, more comfortable approaching people that they're attracted to, whether whether you're gay, straight, trisexual, bisexual, whatever it is.
Trisexual.
Everything's out there now. It's 2022. There's everything. You got to leave it all on the table.
Okay.
So this sort of manual was like some guy back in the day wrote this book that he was peddling essentially. I found a way to get my hands on it for free. I don't exactly remember how. Maybe it was passed down to me. But it was like, this is how you get more confident around women. It was specifically for guys to talk to women. But the concepts can be used for anything.
Yeah.
It was if you are attracted to somebody, this is how you get comfortable approaching them in like a mature, effective manner that's going to get, that's not going to get like a drink thrown in your face or you arrested or like a very embarrassing rejection. And one of the things that started out with was like, just go up and talk to them about something very quick and minor.
Right.
And one of the examples that was in the manual was take your watch off. And this is older. This is back when we're not really dealing with a lot of cell phones.
Right.
And certainly not smartphones. We're talking pre-Razr flip phones and non-flip phones like Nokias. And he's like, take your watch off, and if you see an attractive person, walk up to them and just be like, hey, I left my watch at home. Can you just tell me what time it is? And you do something like that. You get your reps in doing that. And then you kind of up your game and start maybe a slightly longer conversation depending on what the situation is. And you kind of go from there. So to see you think like that and kind of do that, it was like, oh, man, like the manual.
Yeah.
And maybe
I don't think I ever got my hands on the manual.
It brought back memories. I think you did.
I mean, if I have it, I didn't read it. I honestly don't remember the manual.
Well, maybe then we talked about it because it was exactly out of the manual of like, you want to get more comfortable around people, talk to people. Yeah, that's all you can do, and you can stair step the approach. Right. So, and that's a good lesson for the community out there, because I know there's a lot of people out there that are. Again, it's not just like how to hit on chicks. No.
Yeah, I know we've focused on that a lot, but it's just making friends, same sex, different sex, whatever, just business relations, things like that. Right,
being social in a way that adds value to your life and maybe their lives as well, whatever that may be. It doesn't have to just be dating or doing sex or what have you. It could just be finding people to get along with. Yeah. And we've talked about this before. Like, I like a lot of the people I work with. I got lucky. I like most of the people I work with on my team. But, like, we spend, 8 to 10 to 12 hours a day with each other. Yeah. I don't want to hang out with you.
Yeah.
And when you move to a new city or you're a whack job like me, you're going home to nobody. Like,
I don't know why I laughed at that.
Because it's not funny. Because it's funny. Because it's true. Like, I go home to my dog, and the Bone Crusher lives nearby. And I had a girlfriend for a while, and then she got smart. And so it was me and the dog again. So you want to have, like, there's something to be said about having a good, like, even if it's a small, tight social circle of people that you can kind of escape the bullshit of the day with. Right. And you can't do that without talking to people. Yeah. And you can't talk to people if you are, PBF and paralyzed by fear, and you can't talk, so you got to work up to it.
And not only that, but it's not even just like being afraid. Sometimes we're just like so in a rush to do everything. Yeah. I was just having this conversation the other day. Now, obviously, we're going back to like the romance or whatever you want to call it. But like, the whole, like, I'm at a grocery store, I reach for a cantaloupe, and some hot young, woman reaches for the same cantaloupe. We touch hands.
Cute.
Yeah.
Sure.
Except that it would be like, this is my fucking cantaloupe. Get the fuck out of here. You know what I mean?
In real life, it's I need this cantaloupe now. Yeah.
I come to the grocery store so I can leave the grocery store. I'm not there to make friends. Right. I'm not going to the gym to make friends. I'm not doing anything to make friends until you kind of like make it your mindset of stepping out of your comfort zone or taking, you're not as busy as you think you are. Yes. That's a big thing. Everyone thinks there's not enough time in the day. There is.
There's plenty of time.
Yeah. So I think that all kind of comes together in that way.
Right. And even if slowly changing your mindset of, we'll use the grocery store as an example. Normally you're there for a specific thing. I want groceries and I'm out. Right. If you just add something to it, instead of refocusing like I'm going to go talk to people and make friends and try to hit on chicks or whatever it might be, it's just I'm here to get groceries, and if someone there is, looks friendly, or they say something to me, or we do a little meet cute, how you doing? I'm gonna be open to it.
Yeah, if somebody's wearing a Yankee hat, be like, man, that Judge is killing it. So it's something simple like that.
Right. And that's how that's how it starts. You don't have to go from 0 to, Leonardo DiCaprio just slaying immediately. If we're talking on the dating side of the house, just take one step further than where you are now. Yeah. And that could be said for anything in life. But I want to go back real quick because you mentioned like, if they're wearing a Yankee hat or whatever. I did get approached by a gentleman when I was picking up dinner earlier. How you doing? And this area, kind of like where we're walking around and getting food right now, is apparently it's like I don't want to say predominantly, but it's the more gay-friendly area.
It's like progressive, and it's I don't know. It's just you see a lot of I don't even know how to describe it, but it's just very supportive. I think that's the best way to describe it.
That is a good way to. But it's not one of those like gays only kind of part of town where you're gonna get run out of here. It's a very open, supportive.
Is that a thing? Do gays run you out of town?
Not me, but a guy I know. No, I don't know, but I wanted to kind of make it clear that this is not a restrictive area.
No.
It's just for whatever reason, this seems to be most of the spots here, the restaurants and clubs and bars cater to more of that, I guess you could say.
I don't like the word.
Not cater.
Yeah.
It's open to it.
Yeah.
Predominantly that. And I got approached by a fella at the taco joint that I was at grabbing food. And he did, and again, I tip my cap to him. He did a very similar thing that you just described. He saw me, I was wearing a West Point t-shirt, which I got when I was in high school, and I ran indoor track like a goober. And I picked it up to think I was a cool guy. And he did exactly that. He was sitting at the table, and he walked up to me, and he was like, "Hey, did you go to West Point?" I told him, I was like, "No, I got the shirt, when I ran track, blah, blah, blah." And he's like, "Oh, I was just wondering because I grew up there." And we talked for a couple seconds, but it was pretty clear he was trying to work the conversation to find out more about me, if you will.
Right.
And again, I wasn't interested in that, if you will.
It's got to be a little flattering, though.
Right. I was actually more of the guy was not he had a good approach. He was taking a chance. You can tell he was coming out of his comfort zone.
Right.
He was taking a chance, and he did it respectfully and maturely. And it was something that man, if I lived here, I would be friends with that guy.
You're right.
He seemed like a cool dude. He was from the New York area. He knew about West Point, he knew a good amount about West Point and the campus and the history and all that stuff. And he seemed and he was wearing like a baseball hat. I forgot what team it was. But now, if I wanted a friend, I could be like, "Oh, this guy likes baseball.
Yeah.
He's pro-military. He's from the New York, Northeast area.
Yeah, you have a lot in common.
Yeah, and we can, we could talk about that stuff.
Sure.
But I'm leaving, so
yeah, and I wasn't there for that,
and you weren't around for that. But I appreciated that, and again, it kind of goes back to what I was saying earlier. It was I saw you doing that. I was a little bit mad at myself. I was a lot mad at myself where I should have just walked away.
No.
Look, again, I'm like Venom with Tony Rigatoni. When Tony Riggs comes out,
I was mid-conversation. You did, stiff arm.
Well, I heard kids. I was like, wait, 6 kids? Hello. I was going to give her my business card right there. But, yeah, I felt bad about that. But I did appreciate that you were just this is how I'm going to get better at whatever it is I'm doing.
Right.
And that's, we can kind of tie it all back together. That's what I like to try to do here.
Yeah.
Part of the things I enjoy
LPDS.
here is in the LPDS is if we can teach some lessons and have a good time doing it, all about it. And I think there was a lesson there to be taught or learned from that encounter. So whether, regardless of how it ends up, maybe you make a friend.
Yeah.
You go back there, you keep talking. All the bartenders and people working there were super nice and friendly, helping us out, figure out drinks and stuff. So far, this whole area has been kind of like that.
Oh, I picked a good spot. I ended up.
Oh, definitely, for sure. And we went to that one breakfast spot this morning, and there was the same thing. Now, we thought maybe because we were definitely outsiders in this breakfast place.
Right.
They could tell we were out-of-towners and new to the game. So at first we thought they were being nice to try to nicely push us out. Hey, we got plenty of regulars here that are making us profits hand over fist. We don't need you two jabronis screwing up the success here.
Eating your chicken and waffles for an hour.
Yeah, taking all the time. That was me, obviously.
Yeah.
But it was really, they were just being like good people.
Oh, yeah, they were awesome.
Everyone was super nice and helpful. They were making sure we knew the situation. It was kind of a unique place where it's sort of like the soup Nazi.
I was just getting ready to say, yeah.
But not angry.
Yeah, right. They expect you to be on it like that.
Right, because they're so popular, there's a line out the door from this breakfast joint every day.
Right.
Weekdays, weekends.
I mean, we were there at 10:30. It's not even breakfast. I mean, it's breakfast, but it's,
Right, and there was still a line out the door.
Yeah,
and
on a Thursday.
Right, and they're trying to get people to enjoy their time, enjoy their food, so they come back. But also they got to pump these people through, so they're not waiting in line all day in the hot Houston heat. So they were very helpful. Of like, hey, here's what you got to do: scan the barcode, figure out what you want now. You're gonna be here for a little bit, so that when you go to order, you know what you want. And you're not holding up everybody, and everyone can enjoy their time. And it was great. So again, everybody's been very friendly and accepting of two new idiots.
Yeah.
Now you go into New York City and you're a new guy.
Oh, yeah. Get the fuck out of my way.
If you don't immediately have it figured out,
right.
I mean, they're kicking you right into the gutter.
Yeah.
And they won't even care about it. So that's very cool that this place is like that. And it's like, in my head, I was like, damn, I wish I was moving here now.
Well,
because it's a cool spot.
I got open invitation.
Yeah, well, maybe when Crazy Carol and JPL3.
No, man, just get them to move down. They seem like reasonable people.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, they won't leave their grandkids up in New Jersey to come down here to live with us two schlemiels. But I'll ask them.
Yeah. Hey, listen, you got to develop some sort of rapport
with them. Yeah, I'll never know for sure unless I ask the question.
You got to do the stair step approach.
I do, yeah. So maybe I'll just ask how they're doing.
Yeah. Start with that.
Yeah.
Ask them the time, I think it was.
Yeah, that's a good one too.
Yeah.
And then maybe I'll wait for the winter.
Yeah.
Like,
we know where it's not cold.
Like, hey, just to let you know.
Yeah.
It's warm in other places of the country all the time.
Right.
But my mother hates the heat. She might be allergic to it. I don't know if that's a thing.
It's not a thing. It
but
can't be.
So
I mean, you're allergic to the sun. Everybody, in a sense.
So I thought she was crazy. I still think she's crazy for other reasons. But she kept blabbering on the phone every Sunday. Every time it gets hot out, and I walk outside for 10 seconds, and I'm in shambles, and this and that, and I was like, listen, old lady, like that's not a thing. Blah blah whatever. But sure as shit, you walk outside with her, and within minutes, she's like rashing up. Not sunburn, but like a rash. Her face is all flushed. It's almost like she has one giant hive on her.
Shit.
Like she got stung by a giant bee. And I was like, hey, you might be allergic to the heat. Like, it's not the sun. It's like the hot temperature. Like, over a certain temperature. I don't think that's a real thing. I hope somebody who's listening is a doctor.
Yeah, probably not, though.
It could shut me up. Doubt it.
I seriously doubt you have a doctor in the house.
I don't think so either. But it's very unique to see.
Yeah.
Now, I still think she bitches about it too much because she's a crazy lady.
Or maybe she, like, before she's about to go outside, she eats something that she's actually allergic to. So you could be like, look at this, I'm in shambles. I got to go back inside.
Yeah, she eats, like, some weird dark chocolate thing that she loves to munch on before. Like, oh, I got to eat my chocolate before I leave.
All right.
And then every time she goes outside, it's really that. And she can't put two and two together.
Or she just wants to go back inside and fuck you guys.
Yeah, it could be. She's not that. She's not that. No, because she's a crazy person.
Yeah.
She's not that cunning. I mean, she might be though, because she has been watching the ID channel and Lifetime for years, and all those shows are pretty much like how to kill your husband without him knowing, and getting away with it and all that shit. So she's been taking notes. So maybe that's her stair step approach of like, I'll see if I can get away with this lie. And then I'll start putting, antifreeze in the soup.
Right.
In the pasta vazul until they...
If that's her end goal, she's really talked to Howie, my dad, because he's got that thing figured out. He wrote the manual on getting out of shit.
Oh, did he?
Oh, my God.
I thought you were going to say on how to kill your spouse without them knowing.
No.
I was like, do we have to have a separate conversation?
Are you kidding me? My dad couldn't get out of his recliner to kill his wife.
He couldn't. He is locked in there for life right now.
Yep.
But that's really funny. We got some calls. Well, we got some feedback, if you will, some questions for you.
Okay.
Because you're the special guest in your own home. I figured we could take that.
Let's
and
do
then
it up.
We can kind of get out of here or whatever you want to do. So We got a comment here from the Instagrams from this guy right here, and this guy asks a simple question: personal preference for you? Do you prefer regular or double stuffed Oreos?
All right. Well, there is a. I think I know.
There's got to be a story behind this. Knowing this guy right here, he's a good fellow. We played ball with him.
Top tier guy.
He's a top tier guy. He's on TV nowadays.
Rookinson Cano, as I like to call him.
Yeah, he is. Swell. He comes from a long line of swell people.
Yep.
A very, what's a good word? He's not a smooth guy, but he's a good guy.
Yeah, he's not smooth. I mean,
I don't want to say smooth. I didn't want to say feminine, but I meant like a clean cut. That's what I went.
Or you could just say he's a nice guy.
He is that too.
Yeah.
Also, clean cut. Anyway, there's got to be a story behind this.
Yeah, there's an inside joke to that. I think I'm just going to answer that one straight up, though.
Well, what is it?
I mean, obviously it's double stuffed Oreos, right?
You can't not pick double stuff.
Single stuffed. That's not even a cookie anymore.
No.
I mean, I don't even at this point, now that they've come out with the mega stuffed, that's like 2 double stuffs put together.
Yeah.
And it's,
I haven't tried the mega stuff yet.
Yeah, I mean, it's incredible. I can't even do the double stuff anymore.
I still go double.
Yeah.
Only because that's all I know. Fun fact, I don't know if I mentioned this ever before, but my mother, Crazy Carol, used to work for Nabisco, which is a company that owns Oreos or puts them out or whatever. So it was really like Kraft Nabisco, and then it became some other company, parent company or whatever. But she used to be a taste tester.
A taste tester?
Yeah. She got this job by literally like looking at a classified ad in the newspaper and applying.
Yeah.
And then she got it. And she worked there for years. In fact, she like was the one who typed up the reports that they would have after they would taste something. They had to write about how bitter, the sweetness, the sourness, all that stuff. Full reports that she had to write.
I've never met Crazy Carol before, nor do I know anything about this job as taste testing, but I just imagine a very angry woman at an assembly line where the cookies come out one at a time, and she just takes a bite out of each one like, crap.
Garbage.
Crap. Nah, this one's okay. Put it in. Circulate it.
It was not a conveyor belt. They actually sat down on a pan, like a table, and they would sit there all day and taste this shit. It was actually not as fun as you would think because you don't really eat the food. You chew on it, and then you spit it out and you wash your mouth out. But one of the perks of the job was that anything that they were tasting, all the test experiment packages, she got to bring home with her.
Ooh.
So we were taking double stuffed Oreos to school.
You were swimming
months before that they were even a thing. And people didn't know what they were. That was the only thing that made me cool in school ever.
Because you had the down low on the snacks.
Yeah, and it came in the Oreo package, but it was just a silver package. It wasn't the blue.
They didn't dub it double stuffed yet. They didn't have a name.
No, it just said. I think it said Oreo double stuffed that they put on a stamp, like test number 87265.
Yeah.
And that was it. And I would just bring those to school.
Yeah.
And that was the only thing that made me cool.
And then 3 weeks later, Nabisco came out with, "We fucked that batch up. Don't circulate that."
Yeah, you're gonna grow a giant nose. Yeah. Now I look like when I do the backstroke, I look like a shark in the water. So thanks a lot, Nabisco.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
But double stuff. Short answer.
Oh, without question. That's not even a thing.
Thank you for your feedback, and that was a good question. And then we have one call in from the hotline. So I'm going to try to pop this up here. I'm sure I'm going to mess it up. I apologize. The previous episode from last week, episode 110, I dorked up the audio. I don't exactly know what I did wrong because I thought I did everything right, but it was super quiet. You couldn't understand it.
Hey, this is the show, folks.
Yeah, that's it. These are the
listen
jokes.
to it or take it somewhere else.
Or don't listen, yeah. And apparently most of you are not listening, so yeah. But anyway, so let's take this call right here real quick.
Hi there, long time, first time. I'm just calling to inquire about the creature. I want to know the best laundry crew story. I know there's a bunch out there, and I've heard a bunch. So I want either one. Actually, no, I want 2 stories. I want one that is not often told, so something new that I haven't heard, and then I want something that is a classic. And one of the best, one of the staples, if you will, and I will. So that's my submission. I want to hear from you. Thanks for taking the call.
All right, well,
Another smooth guy.
another real smooth guy, a real wet sort of feline type of guy.
Yeah.
Good guy as well. The wet cat right there with that question. I'm trying to think of stories that we haven't talked about or people don't know about from our laundry crew days.
Yeah, I think the problem is anything's worth telling that's already been told.
Yeah, and we've told most of them on the show already
Yeah.
between our episodes and any other.
Yeah, the
guest
staple story will be easy. I'm trying to think of one that we haven't told yet, though.
Yeah.
I mean, we can pull, the curtain back here. The laundry crew wasn't crazy exciting.
Yeah. Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
Most of the time, we just did laundry
Yeah.
for 40 dudes.
For 40 guys.
We cleaned 40 jockstraps and scrubbed them with brushes, and we were miserable. We just found anything we could do to not think about us handling sweaty Florida jockstraps
Yeah.
of disgusting dudes.
Yeah, that was a tough time for both of us in our lives. Yeah. By the way, I mean, I think we talked about this in the last episode too. Like, man, were we underappreciated for the job that we did too?
I'll say.
And I don't blame Skip because, again, smooth
guy.
smooth guy. I don't blame Skip for that. That's Embry Riddle's fault. Thanks a lot, Embry Riddle.
Thanks a lot for sure. I mean, I don't want to talk about that.
Yeah.
But the fact that they didn't have the ability to provide scholarship money, like when they gave out quote unquote full scholarships, it didn't even cover like half the tuition at the
Right.
school.
Yeah.
So you think they're going to give money to guys who are just doing laundry only?
Right. And
You know?
the thing is like, we joke about our time in the laundry crew, but that was a real job. I mean, we did work. And it
Miserable
wasn't,
work.
and it wasn't, pounding at a keyboard at a desk all day. It was
No.
some shitty work.
It was real manual labor, and it
Yeah.
was not like a side thing. It was
Oh
hours
yeah,
a day.
I spent more time doing laundry than I did playing baseball.
Well, I know I certainly did. At least you pitch. You have like the I don't know. I keep saying this. I don't know if it's true, but you have like the record for one of the best ERAs in school history.
For not a 4-year guy, for like even though I was 3 years, I'm categorized under 2 years, I guess. So but in that category, yeah.
Yeah. So you got some time in there and some good time.
It was mostly mop-up crew.
Yeah,
Thanks a lot, Skip.
Yeah, but then you still had to do laundry crew. Thanks a lot, Corey Davids.
Yeah, we told that story already.
Yeah, the public enemy number 1 of the LPDS. But it was tough work, but I just there was not a ton of good stories, like really super funny, memorable stories.
We really grinded it out. I mean, it was yeah. I mean, it was a lot of like little stuff that we'd probably come up with, like I don't even know, just a bunch of inside jokes I don't even think your audience would find entertaining.
Yeah, I don't even remember some of them either. We played a lot of basketball while we were waiting for laundry to wash. So we had some fun playing some pickup games and getting kind of aggressive there.
Yeah.
We can make up a story. Like I feel like we could have made up a story.
Yeah,
but
I mean that's
also,
the best
like,
part about the question is it's a story he's never heard of. So we could
Right.
literally say,
yeah, and he wasn't there.
that one time Marissa Tomei decided that she wanted to do laundry with us. She was in town.
Yeah, she said that we had to do it topless. We had a D shirt.
Yeah.
And we did.
Yeah. And you had to rub her feet, which was very hard for you.
Yeah, I
But-
threw up after, but
Yeah.
not during. And no one would ever know.
Yeah.
The only person that would have been able to call us out is David's. And let's be honest, he's not going to call us out because then we could call him on all the stories that he's been making up in his multiverse.
Tell me one story that he's made up.
One story,
Just one.
how about his time on the Cubs?
What about his time on the Cubs?
I'm going to leave it at that. Anybody who knows the public enemy number 1 could go ask him about that story.
Yeah, except they're going to hear his version of the story.
Yeah, then they could come back once they get that version first.
Yeah.
Because it's wildly different from the truth. But he'll never listen to this, so
Nah,
we'll
he's
be good to
definitely
go.
not listening to this.
Yeah,
He
so
doesn't
I
give
don't
a
know of
shit.
any. I don't know of any real stories that he hasn't heard.
Yeah, I'm really trying to rack my brain. That is a difficult question. Not a lot happened. I mean, it really wasn't a lot. Especially, I think Phil towards like the middle to the very end, he was there for a lot of it too.
Yeah, he did help out a lot at the end.
Yeah, he was there to shoot hoops with us and hang out and a little bit. So
yeah,
just thinking, I mean, maybe I could leave something in the comments after, but I can't think of a story he hasn't heard yet.
No, I don't think so either. The only other thing I maybe can think of is when I finally did get offered some sort of like scholarship, or it was like a stipend. I was told that it was going to be like $1,500 over 2 semesters. And they only had $500 to give me the first semester.
Yeah.
So they gave me the little contract. First, my name was wrong. They put Sarge on it, Sarge Libretti, because that's my nickname. And I was like, this is not my name. And he's like, oh, shit. And he had to go redo the contract. And then spring semester comes up, and I get oh, by the way, I don't have the $1,000 to give you the rest of the money. So that's it. Like that's it. See you out there on the field. Like that was it.
And I probably won't.
Yeah. You'll see me in the dugout. But that's about it.
Yeah. But $500, and we're talking, I don't know, conservatively, it's just so I don't go overboard, 10 to 15 hours a week over the course of.
I mean, we're talking
probably more than that.
More than that. We're talking at least practice. It was a little easier. We're talking maybe like an hour, probably 2 hours a day during practices, and then up to 4 to 6 game
Yeah, so
nights.
I'm like drastically underestimating. It was way more.
Yeah, so it was pushing almost like
mid-20s, 30
hours a week.
And you got $500 for the entire semester.
Yeah, 3 months.
Yeah.
So
yikes.
That's called slave labor,
Yeah.
and that's China. That's Nike. So, hey, they got away with one.
Yeah, they here we are.
Yeah,
we're still alive.
Still alive and thriving, as they say.
But unfortunately, storyless. Probably because we were so fucking pissed off while we were doing it. We were just shit-talking every motherfucker who had a dirty uniform.
Yeah, who had left something in there, gum, grass stains when they don't play.
Yeah.
I mean, my uniform was never dirty if I didn't play.
Right.
So it was mostly clean. Most of the time, you had to do a quick, spray of Febreze on it, and that was good to go.
Maybe that's a story, if you were a guy who didn't play, did we even wash your uniform? That's probably, we probably
only a couple of the guys that we already talked about, the Dave Bellardes, who did the slide in the grass during pregame batting practice, and then the Hummel leaving gum in his pocket, because we know that guy didn't play.
Right.
And he left a pack of gum in his... Who's carrying a pack of gum?
Well, no. It wasn't a pack of gum. It was those little baseball... What's the brand?
Double Bubba?
Yeah, the ones that come in the small wrappers or single piece. He had 12 of them. It wasn't a pack. They were
that's
individual.
What it was. Right.
Yeah.
In his back pocket, and he left them there.
Right.
And I think we talked about that.
We did talk about that, yeah.
That's it. Those are the uniforms we had to wash for the non-players. Everybody else, they got a quick spritz, maybe.
I think we just threw them back on the hoop. We don't have time for that shit.
No, get back on there. You wear deodorant for the doubleheader. We'll wash it after.
Right.
But for the mainstay stories, I think everybody knows. It's probably the big story, the most.
The cheese story.
The cheese story.
Yeah. We did tell that on my origin story. But that's the staple for sure.
Yeah, that's the laundry story. And if you don't remember that, go back and check out the episode with the creature from a year plus ago.
Yeah, it was
I'll post the link up here on the YouTubes to go check it out. I don't even remember what episode number it was.
Yeah, it wasn't that exciting, but to answer the question,
it was one of my favorite episodes.
It wasn't exciting. That story. No. That episode was great. I loved. I wouldn't carve out time of your day. I better find out that story.
I would. It was a great story. I'm not going to tell it here. I'm going to make you go over the episode. It's a great story.
Get you some more hits on the ad read, and then
get a couple more cents in there.
That's a good business.
But that story is a top tier story.
Yeah,
I say cheese when we're talking about dip all over the place, exclusively, and then the legend has continued on. I have people at work that I only know from the military that have never met you, never played sports or whatever, or certainly didn't play baseball, and they call it cheese now because of that story.
Yeah.
It's spread nationwide.
Oh, I got everybody, Florida, that's where I just left. Everybody in that facility, that's what they call it.
Cheesing up. So it's a good story.
It's a good story. Trust me, it's a good story.
Yeah, so
Nic Cage
check it
might
out.
star in it.
He might. Imagine that.
He likes to work.
He does like to work.
Yeah.
And I will write the script for him.
Yeah, well, you kind of just set the stage for him. You let him be Nic Cage, and you give him some creative
Imagine
freedom.
his version of like you.
Would he play me? Or
That's the craziest part.
Yeah, who would he play?
He could play all of them. We could do like a
like a Nutty Professor sort of situation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be great. What a dream that would be.
Uh-huh.
But anyway, thanks for the call in. Thanks for calling the hotline. Don't forget, guys, call the hotline for anything. It could be questions for guests. It can be random thoughts, whatever you want. 202-670-1114. That's 1114. Call it in. I like listening to them. That was a good question. So thanks, Wet Cat, for your feedback there. You got anything else, man?
I think we nailed it.
Yeah, we've been going for a little while.
Yeah.
An hour and 20 minutes or something
Yikes.
here. So.
And we, like I said, we just turned the mics on and just let it rip. I thought it was going to be 30 minutes and done.
Yeah, it kind of went fast, as they usually do. But before we go, real quick, got to bust out the big three for the LPDS universe and the junction to be a better, like the pillars to be a better, happier, less stressful person. Number one, exercise every day. That's something we've been doing. We haven't been working out like in the gym every day, but we're getting our steps in at least 10,000 every day. It's very simple. We just go for a walk. That's it. So do that. You'll feel better about yourselves. You'll be a better person, healthier person, physically, mentally, and emotionally. Number two, the hardest one to do is to not be a shitty person. Real quick story on that. The Bone Crusher sent me an Instagram post earlier in the week. It was about this guy from Maryland who's supposedly an actor. I never heard of him before, but he grew up in Maryland, and he recently just had heightening surgery. I think they call it like limb lengthening surgery, where essentially he got surgery done to be taller. He's a short guy, and he was claiming that casting directors were saying that he wasn't getting roles because he wasn't tall enough for the role, and he was getting a lot of shit for it. And he said he always wanted to do something about it, which doesn't make sense when you have height, but I guess he's doing something about it. So.
Yeah.
But in the comments of this post, I mean, people
they
were
let him have it.
wearing him out.
Yeah.
One guy said, because the caption was like, this guy grew up in Maryland and he's an actor now, big timer. It was a specific Instagram profile. And like the first comment up there, and the guy was like, I wouldn't say he grew up anywhere. But I felt bad. Like some of the shit was funny, but at the end of the day, this guy, excuse me, who's putting himself out there, being kind of vulnerable, letting people know, like, I was so kind of depressed by this shit, and it was consuming me that I had to do something about it, and I did this. And you can hate on me all you want, but this is what I chose to do to kind of be happier with myself.
Right.
He put himself out there, and he's been getting worn out.
Yeah.
Again, I don't know who this guy is. He doesn't have a lot of followers on Instagram.
He's going to be shoelacing it up pretty soon.
Yeah. Well, luckily for him, he's taller now, so it's going to be a little harder for him to get to the laces.
Right.
So maybe he'll have a little more time to think through that and not do that.
Yeah, I mean, he probably wears like size 6, so the shoelaces,
Yeah, yeah, there's not a lot of lace going on. But in all seriousness, this people were wearing this poor bastard out.
Yeah.
And again, some of it was funny, but it was like, this guy has to sit and wear that. If he's reading these comments,
I hope he's not.
These are like, all you're getting is hate, hate, hate. And it's so easy to just see that and want to make a joke or fire off a shit talk and be like, who the hell, who cares about this guy?
Yeah.
He's an idiot for doing whatever he did or whatever it might be. But we want you to take that step back and not be that shitty person, not fire off that text message tough guy, whatever it is. Because that's a human being on the other side who's going through some shit, and he tried to open up about it. And how would you feel if that happened to you? If you actually were vulnerable and then someone's ripping you to shreds?
Yeah.
It's not a good feeling.
Sure.
So think about that before you do that stuff. Not you specifically.
I would
but
never do that.
I know you wouldn't.
Under any circumstance.
Right. And the third thing... ever. The third thing, the most important one, be genuinely thankful and grateful for all the good you have in your lives, like this. A perfect example, being able to come out here and share a week with with my brother.
Mm-hmm.
Couldn't be more grateful and thankful for that.
I couldn't believe that you were willing to do it, man. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, it was awesome. So anything you have that's good in your lives, focus on that. Think about that and how, be thankful for it. Be genuinely thankful for it and understand that people don't have that shit.
Mm-hmm.
The bum across the street doesn't have that shit for whatever his problems he's got.
Oh, he's
dealing
missing
with.
step 2 in the big 3 too.
Yeah, that guy is a little different. And again, I can empathize with why he might get angry so fast with people because he did get angry at us.
Very angry.
But that's a story for another day. I think. But he doesn't have toilet. We have it. We got 2 toilets. So things like that, little things that you kind of take for granted usually. Take the step back and think about it. So that's it. That's the big 3. Now that's all I got. I think we hit everything. You got anything you want to plug?
Don't even try finding me. You'll never do it.
You probably will.
You'll never have
tag you and stuff. But,
yeah, you'll never find me.
Yeah, but thank you again for being on the show and allowing us to do it here in the dungeon.
I'm glad to be here. Hopefully, it won't be another year before I'm on the show again.
Yeah, hopefully.
I gotta steal that belt. I mean, I know it's between Crusher and Styx, but I gotta get my name in there.
Yeah, well, Styx is.
Listen,
you're competitive. You're competitive this year.
Yeah,
Don't worry.
okay.
Yeah. Styx is a good guy.
Oh, he's top tier. He's a hilarious dude.
Yeah. But thank you again. Thank you guys. Don't forget, we still got some tank tops. Both of us were actually sporting the LPDS tank tops today. Hit the hotline 202-670-1114. DM, message me, email me, whatever you want to do. Like and subscribe. Tell your friends. All that shit. Do whatever you got to do. I like to see the feedback. So selfishly speaking, the more you submit to me, the better, the happier I am, and then the better I can be for you guys. So thank you guys again. I love you all. Stay strong.